These are my favorite episodes. Your face is what starts it. I love your face.
Welcome back.
Storytime jump right.
Welcome back, everybody. Today is Storytime Sunday, episode
279.
This is 2.
69 plus 10.
We've recorded 14. This is actually number 2 because this is the only one that's going to make sense. So today is
how many episodes have we recorded that we can't put on air because we're drunk or we say something?
Those are reserved for our Patreon. So we should have a special. We will have a Patreon, which people can subscribe
blooper
to.
Reels.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we got some blooper reels.
We can have regular reels, blooper reels, and then you're going to be divorced if this ever hits the air reels.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Somebody's at your door. I hope it's not Chave Darlton.
I'm going to go pick up my kid. Chave Darlton. We had such a good beginning. Maybe we should restart this.
Storytime?
Storytime Sunday. Episode whatever.
Let's talk through it. Oh, let's get into it.
We are just two guys navigating this chapter called Midlife. What started as two friends swapping stories that turned into a quest to answer life's biggest questions about this mid-crisis mystery. Join us as we talk it out, laugh through the chaos, and get real about the struggles. This is our podcast. This is our question. Is it menopause or menopause?
Mm-hmm. God damn it. I love Dak Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, that's not.
Huh? I said Dak Daniels.
I know, but that's not. It's iced tea.
We're not going to lose sponsors. I didn't say his real name.
Which we could. We should. We drink enough to have these people
Remind me how we do story times. You go looking for this stuff while I'm out partying.
No, Jimmy goes looking for these things. Him and Aaron, they both go looking. They scour Reddit for stories.
Yep.
Crazy stories that they find interesting. Now, we don't know their sense of humor. Sometimes is not our sense of humor. But
the last time we did this, we're reading the stories going, they
were newer. So these are supposed to be a little bit more risque.
I love it.
So he has posted something that we are to read and say prior to the.
For those listening, I have no knowledge of what's happening. How many story times do we have? 1 or 2?
5.
So you read one, I read one.
Burn through them. Yeah, we'll burn through them pretty quick.
I got no idea what's coming.
So basically what we do is we read these stories.
Prepare to be interrupted.
Supposed to be crazy, supposed to be whatever. And then we just dissect them. There might be questions after. Oh, there's usually questions after.
The problem with crazy is my version of crazy, as
They're not crazy.
Yeah.
They won't be crazy. They won't be crazy after, especially the last episode that we recorded. Whew. Check it out.
Cray. Hundo P.
Okay. So this is Storytime Sunday, because we do story times on Sundays. This is Too Hot to Handle. The Darkest Tales from the Internet, Part 2. Oh, yours is looking pretty good. You're skinny.
Huge hands.
Your little frail fingers. Welcome back to Menopause After Dark. Now, somebody didn't think about that.
Oh, crap.
We're going to pretend it's dark, but it's after dark. So if you thought last episode was wild, buckle up, because tonight we're diving even deeper into the internet's most jaw-dropping risque stories.
God, they better be. You better not be setting us up for...
These tales are dark, twisted, and just when you think they can't get crazier, they do.
Let's do it. Like that
we got 5.
Jack Ray Johnson? Johnson? What's his name?
We've got 5 stories. Hopefully it'll make you laugh, cringe, and maybe question humanity. But as always, we'll ask some juicy questions at the end of each one. So let's get into it.
Let's go.
Storytime 1. I don't even know what these are. Jimmy and Aaron have put these to us. I've actually just got these before we started. Storytime 1. The Vacation Friends.
Can I just say how much I enjoy when you have story time, because both hands are above the table and not rubbing my upper thigh, which is a good treat, because I got to keep that straight face when you're trying to jerk me off under the table. Keep talking. Story time. So after dark.
We'll get into
mid-evening.
You know what? There's actually another episode coming about what? Oh, I can't even say it.
Throwing each other out of the bus.
No. I'll wait about when you were young, when you were with your first encounters with a woman. How awkward it was. And
why do you just assume it was a woman?
I was talking to you.
Hashtag Uncle Steve.
His jeans were tight.
Read the fucking storyline before we get thrown off the air.
Story 1, the Vacation Friends fiasco.
Uh-oh.
It's always on vacation.
We've both been there.
Pretty sure she's going to be with a dark man. So a couple on vacation befriends another couple. Pretty typical hustler story at an all-inclusive resort. After a few days of dinners, excursions, and endless margaritas, the new friends invite them to a private after party in their suite.
Upside down pineapple.
That's how you work. How it works. What starts as drinks quickly turns into something much more intimate. Of course it does. Feeling pressured but curious, they go along with it. Months later, they discover a video of the encounter posted on a niche.
Hold on, back up.
Oh,
I
we're
mean,
skipping.
a couple.
We're jumping.
We've skipped
We're
the.
jumping.
Yeah, that's the Seinfeld
Let me finish
episode.
it and then
Yada
we'll see.
yada yada.
Yeah.
I mentioned the
yada yadas.
Yeah, the yada yada. Okay, so there's a video.
I should put that in there. So, so feeling pressure, they're going with it. Months later, yada, 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 they discover a video of their encounter posted on a niche adult website with their faces blurred, but not blurred enough. They spend thousands of dollars hiring lawyers to have the video removed.
Tom and Pammy.
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but they didn't have their faces blurred.
No, but they
was
tried
just
to
out
have the
there.
video. You can't get something off the internet
Yeah.
once it's on the
Yeah,
internet.
once it's on, it's on.
Yeah. Well, that one girl was successful. Now it's down to one girl, one cup.
That's not a thing.
There was a lawsuit. She's like,
That's
no,
not a thing.
one girl, one cup. I wasn't there.
That was my idea. It was my idea.
Yeah, keep talking.
So of course the original couple is traumatized and no longer trust any blah 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 blah. They meet blah 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 blah. So here's the question: if you found out someone posted this is stupid.
Yada yada. Blah, blah,
if
blah.
you found out someone posted a video of you without consent, how far would you go to get justice? And would you ever trust new friends again? So put yourself in this position.
No, I get it.
Not that it hasn't happened.
Cripes, you're preaching to the choir. Something goes wrong and it gets posted online, and you gotta. First of all, to the question of would you ever trust a new couple again? That's like saying you've been in a car accident, would you ever drive again? Yeah, there's a million other roads and a million other drivers. That's not a thing. So
I think it's would you trust them ever going back, invited back to a suite, getting drunk,
not the
and then
same couple
having coitus with each other.
Right. I mean, once you've been on the internet and it's out there, what do you do?
Don't care.
There's no reversing it. Like, I mean, that's something
I'd own
own
it. How would you not own that?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
is that embarrassing to some people? Probably.
It's embarrassing for people who are not self-employed. Like, the problem is you tell me these scenarios, then you put them in your own life and go, no, I'm fine with it. Because you don't work for Children's Aid. You don't work for the priesthood or blah, blah,
very
blah.
Good point.
There are things that wreck careers out there that you don't even think of. And you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Recently, the Philadelphia Eagles. No, there was a game where some guy's in the crowd. He's drinking whiskey. He's mad at the visiting team. He pours a beer over some girl's head and he says, see you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the acronym. And he lost his job. The company's like, we don't condone his behavior. He's banned from all Philadelphia Eagles games. His life is ruined because of one drunken act that made the internet that can never be reacted. And in this cancel culture, absolutely. The guy was a douche. But he was drunk on one bad day. We've all been there. Don't judge me for my one worst act, but
sure,
we're getting off topic. The point is, it doesn't change the rest of my life. If I'm going to experiment, that's what I'm going to do. But
I don't think you're going to get rid of it. Maybe you can make some money with it, but it's out there.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, same idea.
I was taped. Oh my God, I was, or Pam and Tommy, somebody broke into our house and stole our video. Don't tape it. If there's not a chance of it getting out there, don't tape it.
Yeah, honestly, that's the best advice.
I took my...
Yeah, but they didn't know. They didn't know it was being taped.
Of course they didn't know, but years ago, I took my nephews to Vegas, and my sister said, hey, we all know they're going with Uncle Keith, and you do you. You kick a midget in the balls, lick a nun's titties. It don't matter. It's going to happen. It's his Uncle Keith.
It's the prostitute that bothers them.
But you...
Every time.
He meant nothing to me. Hashtag Dave Darlington. What happens?
You guys totally had a relationship together.
I look back now thinking, have I suppressed?
He was Uncle Touchy. He was your Uncle Touchy.
He was honestly. He taught me lots of things, and I will always
definitely
respect
curious.
him, but I don't know.
I've heard.
Anyway, back to the Vegas. I'm looking, saying, "Hey, Justin Trudeau, if you're from the America watching, is our prime minister.
What does he to do with anything?
He dressed up as Aladdin one year for Halloween. He had blackface on, and now he's cancel culture. And my sister looks, saying, "My kids might be political someday. Please don't have them lick a midget's balls." And I'm like, no, that's fair. I'm the first guy in line of Freeman Street going,
Pretty sure, yeah, you're not
Say
going to be a
cheese.
politician.
I don't care. Yeah, I can't be a politician. I've written that off long ago.
However, your dad's situation
Right.
could come back on.
Is this your kid?
I ain't gonna matter.
Yes, he is. But I like Robert Kennedy.
Dude's got it going on, yeah.
He's
Can't stand
running for
listening to
president.
him.
No, yeah, horrible.
Yeah. I
But
finally learned
he
why
gets on.
does
He
that.
says, "You know what I've done? I've run over a person while drinking and driving. I absolutely raped a prostitute and did a lot of cocaine in my days. But now I'm 80 and I know how reform works. And I'm like, yeah, I'll vote for this guy.
Yeah, and absolutely. The guy's, when you call yourself out, what can you say about him?
Yeah, Eminem, 8 Mile
Good for him. But he's still fake. He's
Anyway,
not-
I don't like this straight.
If you, what do you really, without consent, there's nothing you can do.
You do the crime, you do the time.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, was it good for you?
If you're going to swap, everyone's recording.
I'll read the
It's
next.
already
And just assume you're on camera at all times. I embrace it.
I was just going to say that.
Just
automatically
assume you're on camera at all
and,
times.
And if you can make any money with it, giddy up. And if you can get another round with it, why not?
Zoom out of the feet. Okay. I'm reading this. Thank God this is like a 16-point font. I love it.
It's because they're midlife. Yeah.
Story time. Jeff Bright. Story number 2. The innocent booked Airbnb. This is probably about a camera. We just talked about this in the last one. This
is actually friends of ours have an Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably theirs.
A woman books an Airbnb for her anniversary weekend with her boyfriend.
No, they would never go there.
Upon arrival, they notice a strange painting of a couple on the wall. It's eerily realistic and seems to resemble them.
Oh. Well,
Thinking it's a coincidence, they ignore it until they find a hidden camera and a smoke detector. After searching the house, they discover the owner is a notorious voyeur who rents the property out to spy on couples. The owner is arrested, but the woman is haunted by the idea of what might have been seen. This is supposed to be menopause after dark, risque. This is like every episode of TikTok I've ever seen. You walk into a house and there's two-sided mirrors and smoke alarms. Always assume you're on camera.
But it's more interesting for me is the fact that, let's dive a little bit deeper into this guy. Maybe it's the guy that's the interesting part of it.
Yep.
That has the Airbnb. So he has rented it to somebody, and he has went through the time to creep the people that have rented it, found them attractive maybe, thinking that he is going to
Buffalo Bill, skin suit.
Somebody.
Yeah.
And
so
he's
a
went
bottle
to
of Chianti and some fava beans.
He went to. Now, devil's advocate here. That's just maybe making it more. What's the word I'm looking for? See, here's the over 50 thing, where you've made it more comforting for someone to see a picture of yourself on the wall. Like they went out of their way.
So here's my thing, and this is the answer.
Is that even a problem?
We can
Is that the whole
this.
story?
That's the whole story. I mean, this is after dark.
What's
this
the question?
Is not much. I don't know. Is there a question?
Yeah.
This one gives me the chills. They learned later the painting was digitally altered photo the owner had created using their social media profiles.
Yeah, no doubt.
Here's my question. Would you report it or take matters in your own hands and careful what you share online? Well, here's a fun one.
I know
That's
we
a
would
good
do.
question. Extortion.
No, but we would own that. We would if we found there was a camera in the thing.
Oh, you're getting the Rusty Sheriff's badge.
Yeah. There's some nasty things happening.
Yeah,
in
you're
there
getting the old, absolutely.
Yeah.
The chocolate starfish is going straight up in the camera angle.
I would insert it in your rectum and say how far we can go with a straw.
No, we would own it. But honestly, I got to tell you,
I think that happens everywhere.
Tanning salons. Listen, tell me
someone,
you've ever gone into a tanning.
Watching.
You just, when you walk in there, you
nude.
just assume that there's a camera.
At
this point, I assume there's a camera.
Yeah.
I go into a hotel room anywhere in the world, I assume. It don't matter to me. At this point, you know what? If you want to get off on this, I wish I was getting paid. But if I'm not, I just assume. I honestly do. If I'm in the doctor's office, if I'm in the change room at Walmart trying on a pair of Wranglers because they're on sale, I assume somebody is watching me.
They're expensive. Yeah, absolutely. Right off the bat, I just assume it. I'm not good to go. If you want to watch this,
I have come to terms with it. I'm good with it. So,
and if I find it online somewhere and someone's making money for it, hey, I'm in. And
again, that's because you don't work at Children's Aid or you're in the priesthood or whatever. But honestly, Airbnb, that's one. I assume it's happening in a hotel room. I know what's happening at Airbnb.
I think that's the whole point. With Airbnbs, I think it's just a prerequisite to know that you're being recorded.
Absolutely.
We actually have some friends that have Airbnbs and they watch the cameras all the time. Not inside,
Right.
But oh my God, they're pulling up. Oh my God, why are they taking so long to go in the house? Oh my God, why are they shoveling? Oh my God, why are they? I guess it's a big thing.
Listen, again, I owned nightclubs. I had cameras out to look at people who were drinking or doing drugs or all aspects of the building. Couldn't put them in the restaurant.
The washrooms downstairs.
Do you know? Well, you mean the staff washrooms? Wink, wink. The wash staff rooms.
Thank God we didn't have any recording devices like phones.
But honestly, you know where all the crime took place? You know where people were doing coke? In the bathrooms. You know where people were banging? In the bathrooms. The one place you couldn't put cameras. I thought, why would I not put it in there just to see who's doing it? I know what's going to go on, but then I'm like, no, because then I'm a pervert. I honestly, for my own protection, I want one in the bathroom. I don't need to see Jeff Bright dropping deuce, but I want to know if you're punching a hole in my wall. It's a thing. I don't know.
It's interesting.
Let me read story number 3 because we've already covered.
Yeah, there's too many
just
cameras,
assume you're on camera.
The secret auction.
Oh, I already like it.
A woman's boyfriend invites her to a charity event hosted by his company. She shows up in her nicest dress. See, it's already wrong. It's an auction.
Yeah.
You're not slutting it up.
Maybe it's a high-end thing.
Maybe.
High-end auction.
Okay. Expecting a typical fundraiser, only to realize it's an underground auction where wealthy men bid for companionship with the women attending.
Oh.
You know, I like this where this is going already.
Yep. This is After Dark.
I don't even care if it's...
I invite a strange date. Can you go back? It's a new
bring your
girl.
wife.
I bring my wife, but she's up for grabs?
Yeah. We didn't know. You don't know.
Okay.
You didn't know you was going to an auction. Well, I think he does know.
Start it over.
A woman's boyfriend invites her to a charity event hosted by his company. She shows up in her nicest dress, expecting a typical fundraiser, only to realize it's an underground auction where wealthy men bid for companionship with the woman attending. Do you hear my voice?
I do.
It's sexy.
I know I like it.
Furious, she confronts her boyfriend, who reveals he brought her to test the waters for the relationship. She leaves immediately, but later discovers he used photos of her to advertise her in the event's program. I could see that. She reports the event anonymously, leading to several high-profile arrests. That's not true. They didn't get arrested.
Oh, this is horrible.
But you know what? That's a good movie.
It is a movie. It's called The Menu.
Oh,
The chick with the eyes wide apart that was in The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. Anna Joy something.
What? Oh, that's her name?
Yeah. So here's the deal. They get invited to this deserted island where there's a high-profile chef who cooks meals for everybody, but at the end, it's a mass. He kills everybody in the island because they're all gluttonous dicks. This girl was invited by mistake. Some guy invited her knowing they're all going to die at the end.
Yeah.
And the guy who's doing the mass murdering is like, no, you weren't supposed to be here. He had registered his date, which was an escort who deserved to die, not you. And then it's a whole big thing. I think these Reddit stories might
would
be
you
made
would
up.
you go to the authorities or handle the situation privately? ? And would you ever trust someone again? Oh, trust someone again and all this experience, blah blah blah. You know what? We don't even care about this story, but that first part of it, I think that's a good storyline. I think that's
it's a cool story.
That could be a cool. What if she was into? Oh. What if you took your wife to this and not knowing what it was?
Woody Harrelson, Robert Redford.
Yeah, Indecent Proposal.
Right.
What if that's what it was, and someone extremely wealthy said, I pick her, $1 million.
There is nobody. Listen, the true spirit of menopause is we're 50 years old. You know what I mean? We're midlife. We're married for years. Where are we at with our wives?
You're taking the money.
Have a listener call in right now. Hey, I'll give you $10 million for your wife for a night.
Not 10 million, $1 million.
No,
100,000.
It was 20 years ago. So make
seriously, $1 million ain't nothing now. Even 100 G's.
$5.
$100K right now to be with your knife.
Seen that guy? There's like, what would it take for you to go down to the guy? And he's like, $33,629.71. That's what it takes to pay out my truck. Yes. He doesn't even think about it. He's going through the bills in his head going, oh, plus $6.99 for a ham sandwich, just 6 digit.
Yeah.
Like, I love that guy.
Like, would you punch your wife for $1 billion? Like $1 billion. He's like,
bitch,
yeah,
I would be
he's like $47. Yeah. I got a parking ticket I need paid.
Yes. No, this really is a story about indecent proposal. The answer is
this didn't happen.
Show me the money.
This didn't happen.
Give me story number 4. God, let me pick the story.
These stories are
I
losers.
think you're just making.
It's Jimmy and
Please
Aaron.
read it
Jimmy,
before we get on the air.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
you need to step up your game.
Story number 4: the rich neighbor's party. All right,
It's always the rich. You know what? Next time we're going to make our own stories. We're going to make it on the mid
You
class
can't.
to lower class.
this was the whole. You remember that whole 50 Shades of Grey thing years ago, where the
Yeah.
guy, the cajillionaire, like rapes women and stuff.
People so it's a rape.
I don't know.
woman.
He beats them and gets
No,
them,
he doesn't.
Whatever.
He ties them up in a room that they like.
All I know is it made my
They
sex
don't
life
like
better. What the point is, somebody once said, "Great book, unless you take the millionaire out of it and make it a guy living in a trailer somewhere who like BDSM."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you're like, "No, that guy's going to jail."
That's
So yeah, of course it's a rich neighbor. Back to my story, Jeff.
Okay,
Right?
sorry.
Meaning your story that you made for me. This better be good.
I didn't.
Do you hear my voice right now?
See,
A couple. I don't know.
Your wife creamed when she
Listen,
heard it.
a couple moves into a high-end neighborhood and is invited to a casual gathering by their eccentric billionaire neighbor. Okay. Upon arrival, they find it's more of a eyes wide shut situation. You don't watch movies. That's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I
Nicole
don't watch
Kidman.
that.
All right, there you go.
I do watch movies. I don't remember what them they are.
There are masked guests, dim lighting, and a room with adult-themed activities. The neighbor offers them a large sum of money to participate.
I'm in. I'd go. I'd have to wear a dark outfit though.
Claiming it's all
They wouldn't
something
know I'm
fitting.
overweight.
Something fitting.
Yeah. So I had a mask and something black, like a black robe. I mean, these toga parties need to be black togas.
Right? Yeah. I'm all about the steampunk, but can I wear a moo-moo? Anyway, they're in a dark room with adult-themed activities. The neighbor offers them a large sum of money to participate, claiming it's all just for fun. They decline and leave, but the neighbor continues to drop off expensive gifts at their door, along with cryptic notes saying he hopes they'll reconsider. Okay. Now, this story is doable. So they go to a rich party that turns out to be some kind of, ditty white party. You are so good looking. Seinfeld. We respectfully decline and we leave. No problem. So this is actually a good story. I haven't even read the question yet. So you and your wife go to a party. Let's just say that you're not circus freaks, right? And you're like, no, we're not into this.
Yeah.
And you leave. But then afterwards, your neighbor sends a gift to your door once a week saying, I hope you reconsider. It's going to be a conversation you're going to have with your wife going, well, should we reconsider? This guy's worth $1 billion.
I think especially if you've potentially had a bit of a conversation before.
Right. If it's off the
If
cuff
you're
and you're
vanilla,
like, right. So where are we going? So host. This one has a psychological thriller written all over it. The couple eventually moved out, but not before the neighbor sent a parting gift, which was a diamond necklace with a note that said, you'll always have a place here. Here's the question. If someone offered you a huge sum of money, well, I'm in. I haven't read the rest of the question.
Dirty Sanchez.
For something you weren't comfortable with, would you consider it? Yes, you consider anything. Yeah. And how do you handle the creepy neighbor who won't take no for an answer? Well, it doesn't sound like he won't take no for an answer. It sounds like
you're questioning whether to do it or not.
You're having a conversation about it. The money's right.
You know what bothers me? You have a billionaire neighbor. You're not broke moving beside him.
Yeah, I guess you don't need the money. Well, I mean,
You're only
$1
$100 millionaire.
Here's a good question for you. This happened. This is a really good question. It's hey Jeff Bright, would you have gay sex for $1 million? What's your bottom number?
I've heard this before.
Right, and then you said I don't know, $10 million. So you wouldn't do it for $9,999,999? Well, yeah. Okay, so 10 million wasn't your bottom number.
Yeah.
Right, and then
what's your bottom number?
What's your actual bottom number? That's that pickup guy.
What's your bottom number? What's your bottom number?
I don't.
$50.
So not $49.99.
Here we go.
Like,
that's never ending though. That's never ending.
That's never ending.
Or like a 60-pounder of whiskey.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I feel like I think I could.
This episode's taking a turn. There's a Reddit story. Listen,
but
you catch somebody off guard who doesn't know what they're walking into.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to have a conversation, lead up to it, blah, blah, blah. Can they be prompted into it? Maybe. I don't know. But money, I mean, if you have a billionaire neighbor, listen, I think Mother Teresa and the Dalai Lama could show up to a sex party and be offered $1 billion for their charity of choice. Say, well, let's give it a go there, Teresa.
Take the billionaire part of it out and just be general and just be like a regular neighborhood. but somebody's offering something that is like entertaining, something that you would entertain, essentially enough. I think a lot of people would say no at first.
Yeah, initial reaction, of course.
But then, later on at work.
Here's a question for you. This is a legit question, though. How many, if you had to divide that down and say, a lot of people would say, let's say Family Feud, we asked the top 100 couples, would you say no at first? Of the 50 men and 50 women, of the 50 men, how many would say nope?
Ooh.
And the follow-up question is going to be, of the 50 women, how many would say no? Because
so,
of the 50 men, 40 would be like, I don't think so.
I think out of the women, like out of the 50 women, 49 would say no.
Would say initially.
There's one that'd be like, girl, yeah, I'm in. Yeah. And then I think for men, it would be, they would, oh man.
Right. I need to talk to my wife.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah.
Maybe
there's menopause episodes 101 for you. That's men and women are a whole different. Honestly, and
ooh, okay. What number is it? What number is it for you to have another man take your wife for the night?
You mean a dollar figure?
Yeah.
God, there's just no money.
$175.
$174.99.
Paid your dinner fees? No, but seriously, like if this was presented in a general way.
If my wife came home and said, I just met Elon Musk, offered me $1 billion to sleep with him, but I'm too loyal to you, sweetie.
No,
I would punch her in the face.
Yeah, you're in. I'd even help you.
I will take the pictures. I will get you guys cold water.
Yeah.
Start serving it.
Wetting your brow.
I will apply the lube. Yeah. I will. In fact, we're getting divorced if you say no.
Only Elon.
And I love.
What about LeBron?
Nope.
Shaq?
Yeah. They can't play basketball. They can better basketball, but they're retired and they're old.
Have you heard those stories about Shaq?
No.
Oof. Guys like, I dated a girl after Shaq. Not a good idea.
Like throwing a hot dog down a hallway?
Like, not a good idea. Not a good idea. Like, don't ever date a girl
of water.
So that's the question. That's the question for the people out. What is your number?
Oh, I'd love to see that.
What is your number? Decent proposal. What is your number?
Yeah, modern day number. Story number 5. Let's go.
Stupid thing. Story number 5, last and only, the wedding that wasn't. A bride-to-be finds out 2 weeks before her wedding that her fiancé has been seeing her best friend on the side. Do you know how often this happens?
Very often.
Very often.
Yep.
Your wedding. Instead of canceling the wedding.
Is this the one where she taped a picture of him under the seat? Is this the old...
No, but you know what? That's the biggest burn ever.
I know.
That honestly is the biggest burn ever. Happens a lot. So instead of canceling the wedding, she goes through the ceremony, but swaps her vows for a scathing speech detailing every single thing she knows about their affair. In front of hundreds of guests, she announces the wedding is off, throws a ring at the cheating groom, and walks out to a standing ovation. Later, she sells the wedding dress online with the caption, worn once by someone who dodged a bullet. That's catchy, but would you have the guts to pull that off?
Yeah, so this is that old, this is the old wife. So this is the story we've heard 1,000 times.
That's
you take the picture under the seat.
Stupid. That's not revenge.
But let's say, well, does it need
that's
to be
what
revenge?
that's probably what you would do.
I've told this story. You know the story about the guy that goes ice fishing with the dog and the dynamite?
Jesus, you and your bestiality stories. You got to stop. I get it.
That's a different kind of.
You don't have a dog.
That's J.J. Walker. Dynamite. Good times. The.
Maybe it's not bubble.
Listen, no, there's the old story. There's no way you haven't heard this because when we tell these stories, we tell it in the third person, right? Sure. Oh, I was out ice fishing one time with my uncle, and he had a brand new Cadillac Escalade. We went on ice fishing. Come on.
No, they don't.
So here's the deal. We go out there, instead of drilling holes, we blow holes with dynamite. So he lights the dynamite.
For ice fishing?
Just let me tell the fucking story, Jeff, right?
Don't do that.
Oh, no.
No, just...
God, we got to work these buttons better. Listen, guy goes ice fishing. Brand new truck. Takes his trusty hunting dog. Lights the dynamite. Throws it on the ice. The dog goes running for the dynamite like he's fetching a stick.
Oh.
Comes running back.
Oh, no.
So they start firing at the dog to stop him from coming back at him. Where does the dog seek shelter? under the trusty new Cadillac, which then goes boom and sinks to the bottom of the ocean. I've heard the story 1,000 times. I've told it as though I was the one on the ice because that's what people do. It's the urban legend. This is absolutely, I want to say it's an urban legend, but there's no way it hasn't happened because
for sure.
a woman
happened.
scored. Yeah. Here's the
Yeah.
slideshow of the text messages that they have with these are shit. I've seen them on TikTok. And the point is, good on you if you want to bust your guy. But you know what? This is your parents putting up mortgages on their house
That's
to help
the
you pay for the
problem.
wedding.
Yeah.
This is the problem. If
I
you're
think it
paying
depends
for
on-
it yourself and it's a third wedding or
Yeah.
something like that, and you've invited people to the Legion for some sandwiches after you wed, go ahead and knock this guy. But
I think honestly the best ever was that where they put the pictures of the the cheating couples under the chairs or under the plate or something like that. There's been multiple.
revenge is a dish served best cold.
Yeah. So
Right.
not with Schnitzel or
What?
the German Hall. The Schnitzer. There you have it.
Hey, there's
5
the
stories to
outro.
prove that life can be stranger, darker, and messier than fiction. From spike drinks to secret auctions, these tales are proof that you really can't trust anyone, or at least not your eccentric billionaire neighbor.
Also, don't take shitty stories from your podcast co-host who makes shit up on the
didn't
internet.
make these,
oh
Jimmy.
my God, we gotta get better stories next
Jimmy.
time, Jeff. Right?
So as always, we want to hear your answers to tonight's questions. Better yet, share your own wild stories. Because let's face it, nothing bonds us more than a good scandal. This has been Manopaused After Dark. Until next time, stay curious, stay bold. Always check your Airbnb for cameras.
Hundo P.